Welcome back to Twice Upon a Time. This time, Roger and I watched Season 7, Episode 9, One Little Tear. As always, we'll start off with a synopsis. This is long.
I have the most notes and most questions. Not that many lines, but this was a complicated episode.
Yes. Offered a deal from Gothel, Rapunzel sacrifices herself to be trapped in a tower in order to save her husband Marcus and daughters Anastasia and Drizella. 6 years later, Rapunzel manages to escape, but Marcus has married Ella's mother, and Drizella barely remembers her. Gothel tempts her into poisoning Ella's mother so she can be with her family again. Later, an accident plunges Ella and Anastasia through thin ice, but Marcus is only able to save Ella. Rapunzel goes to Gothel for help, who reveals that she was testing Rapunzel, seeking someone pure of heart, the Guardian, and Rapunzel failed. Gothel tries to take Anastasia, but Rapunzel traps Gothel in the tower instead. In Hyperion Heights, Weaver, revealing himself to Victoria for the promise of information about the Guardian, gets Victoria out of prison. Victoria convinces Lucy that her beliefs are real, but Henry is gone and will never be with her mother. Using Lucy's tear, Victoria wakes up Anastasia, putting Lucy in a coma. Meanwhile, after a bit of a heart-to-heart, Rogers agrees to help Weaver. What'd you think of this episode, Roger?
If beauty is the standard, I would say this is right underneath it. I thought this episode was... I did not remember anything about this episode, and I liked almost everything I saw in this episode. It made me ask a lot of questions. I have real, okay, so if this is the case, why do we do this? But I was excited. I was not bored at all.
100% agree. This episode is very exciting. It has a lot of reveals, but still a lot of mystery, a lot of questions. There were a lot of things that I didn't like in terms they made me upset. Mm-hmm. But not that I didn't like because they weren't entertaining.
It wasn't bad writing. It was more so oh God. It was tension or stressful.
I think that, and maybe this is intentional, and I'm excited to see more. We've often complained in this show about how they just repeatedly redeem villains over and over again, and I don't know that this episode made me feel... I don't want to say I didn't feel bad for Rapunzel, but it didn't make me feel like she's justified in her actions.
I wouldn't use the word justified. What I would say is, what I like is that it wasn't any of her fault. This doesn't seem to absolve her of her behavior. The characters aren't immediately all sympathetic towards her. You understand why she felt the need to do it. But I think a reasonable person would say, okay, but you may have still taken some vile actions.
Yeah.
But I also get it. It's relatable in a way that oftentimes, the Snow Queen just wasn't relatable. Hades was whining about, no, older brother got everything. Sometimes it was just dumb shit. It reminds me a little bit of Arthur. If you remember, how we talked about Arthur, he's doing bad things, but, to have this burden thrust upon you to basically save Camelot, you can maybe understand where he's but I'm not that guy and I broke. It made some sense here.
He has, personal flaws.
Yes, he's and Victoria Rapunzel is flawed. She's very flawed, but also, life dealt her a wild hand.
It did. Man, yeah. I think, and it really, you really understand something about Victoria's motivations from, her, loyalty is really important to her. And her family, and her perception of what that means is different than I would interpret it.
Well, that's interesting. Her perception is very similar to how I would interpret it.
Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't think that it's the way that she feels about Ivy is not fair. Drizella, I understand that, but Drizella was very young when her mother left. She doesn't remember her, and it's not fair to be she doesn't love me enough.
Yeah, that's valid. Oddly enough, the thing that I'm more confused about is that I don't know that I agree with you about Ivy. I think her disdain for Jacinda makes no sense to Ella. That is the one, okay, so the thing that ultimately caused this was Ella went out to go do a thing. Anastasia made the choice on her own to save her sister. And it seems like you're really mad at Marcus for choosing his daughter over your daughter. So you should be mad at Marcus.
Well, and as if that's what happened. He jumped into a dark lake and pulled a person out.
100%. But, like, in her grief, essentially,
Yeah.
she transferred her rage at Marcus. And I don't think it's justifiable rage towards Ella. Ella didn't do anything wrong.
No.
Like, she was... Look, it was... First off, your parents. Don't let your kids stand on a frozen lake. That was never going to end well. Second, Anastasia should have been the first one to run over there. Daddy should have seen that and took off.
Yeah.
Or, like, hey, don't go out there after a hat. And I know they were doing snowmen and their kids and whatever. But, like, the Ivy thing is interesting because it's complicated. Like, I don't understand... In fact, one of my questions is that, like, okay, so Ivy is old enough to have known what happened, I'm assuming.
Well...
I mean, she's standing right there when she says I was trapped in a tower for 6 years. So she heard that.
Yeah, but, okay. Because they had different actresses for the small children the night that Rapunzel gets taken into the tower.
Yeah.
And the only child she actually speaks to is Anastasia. And that child is small. Like, she's, like, 8.
No, I'm talking about when Rapunzel returns.
Yeah, sure.
Ivy is within... The difference between us is Ivy and Anastasia right there. They're right next to each other. Also, Ivy had already given up on Mother. So
yeah.
And she hears that, right? Like, it's been 6 years, let it go. I'm not saying that's fair for a parent, but, like, I can understand having more affection for the child who refused to give up on you. Also, like, Ivy doesn't hate Gothel.
Yeah.
That doesn't track now. So, like, there's more to this that makes sense because if you kidnapped my mother, I'm going to hate you.
Yeah.
Instead, she hates her mother more than she hates the person that kidnapped her.
Yeah. I mean, I think that Ivy's whole beef is that Victoria... God, they have so many names. Victoria just doesn't... Like, she'll never be good enough for her. Like, she doesn't love her. She doesn't actually care. I don't want to say she doesn't care that someone kidnapped her mother, but she, like...
But she doesn't care.
Yeah.
So, like, the thing is that, like, it's like the way Victoria feels about Ivy is actually the way that Ivy feels about Victoria. She didn't really care. Mm-hmm. She already had moved on. She had already replaced her. She had basically given up. And then when she returns, she's not happy to see her. I don't entirely know that she's all that different than Victoria in that way. They're both seemingly not that concerned.
I just don't know that that's fair to expect that of a child. Like, she was so little.
I get what you're saying, but still, like, I don't know of any, like, and it's not that she doesn't necessarily go crazy the way Anastasia does, that, like, she literally rejects her and does not care about her, and had almost no reaction when her mother returned from being kidnapped. She was just like, oh, stranger showed up. That's weird. Like, it's not like they were hostile towards each other.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm not surprised about the initial reaction, because, like, she, like, literally does not remember this person.
They're not that far apart in age. Like, Anastasia doesn't look to be 7 years older than her. They look to be 14 and 12.
Yeah, but if you think about the fact that it was 6 years,
mm-hmm.
and Anastasia was maybe 8, like, maybe.
So
that's the oldest she could have been, so she was 4. Like, 4 is really little to remember. Most people don't form memories until after they're 5.
Totally fair. But I think if someone said, hey, your mom, who I've never met, returned, I'm going to have a reaction more than just, meh.
I think that the really damning, like, the way that she is when they're having the tea is, like, more concerning to me. Because it's not just, like, the shock or, like, I don't know who this person is. Like, it's been explained to her. And I don't quite know what she's feeling.
It seems pretty obvious.
But also, like, if you think... We don't get a lot of this. But if you think about it, like, she calls Cecilia her mother.
Mm-hmm.
Like... To her, that woman is her mother. That is all she remembers.
Mm-hmm.
And I can understand how that would feel like it would... How would you deal with that?
That is totally fair, and I get the confusion. I get not understanding. But it is more so the, like, like, she looks at her as, like, a servant.
Yeah, I don't understand the servant situation all around. Like,
I mean, I kind of get it in the sense of, like, the wish was that Marcus found a rich woman for her... him and the girls to prosper with. This was the bargain. And, well, they don't need her as a mother, so they gave her a job out of, like... And they're all trying to be nice, like, we want you involved in the life.
Well, they gave her a place to live, which is great, but I don't understand why she has to be a servant.
Well,
Can't she just not?
So I think this is supposed to be a parallel to the Cinderella story, right? Like,
sure.
Because Cinderella becomes a servant. And also, I think it's like kind of like how Henry does the catering thing, to get, like, how else is she going to be, like, around the girls? Like, I think this is,
she's just trying to be...
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, that's the thing is that Ivy seems to be so hostile towards her quickly that, like, I'm not saying it's her fault, but like it makes sense that Victoria / Rapunzel / Tremaine decides that like she just gave up on me. She doesn't love me.
But I don't know.
And I don't know why.
I don't care how shitty your kid is to you.
Yeah.
I don't care about any of this. I don't know how you go from, okay, this child doesn't love me anymore to, I'm going to kill her so I can save my other child.
I think that's the thing that I appreciate about this, that like Rapunzel isn't pure of heart.
No.
This is not a Snow White. This is not, and to be fair, this isn't all that outrageous when you think about, I don't know, how you kidnap a baby and decide to put all the evil from your child into that child.
Yes.
We don't question the morality of Snow and Charming as people generally, but that is fucked up.
It is really fucked up.
So like we've talked about, the parents are mostly bad in this show. Like even Belle's parents gave her to Rumple.
Yeah.
Like this isn't. It's not that surprising.
Her mother was dead. Only Mo French did that.
You bet. And like, I think the fact that Rumple is here made me ask a question, is that like, what would Rumple have done to get Bae back? I don't know if you put him in this situation that he doesn't make a similar choice.
Yeah, actually, okay, that was like one of my favorite parts about this episode, when he has that conversation with Victoria, because he does not like the way that Victoria treats Ivy. Like he's trying to tell her.
He seems more confused, actually.
Well, but he's sort of trying to say like, you have 2 daughters, and one of them is here and is trying to like all she wants is your approval, and you like won't give it to her. And Victoria's like, fuck that, fuck her, I don't want to talk about this at all. And yeah, Rumple's like confused. He's like, I don't like you have a daughter
right
here.
Why would you not try to do
And he's not trying to say don't try to save Anastasia. No. He's just like, I don't get it.
I would never give up on my son, the way even if he gave up on me.
But he does say that thing about like she's like, wouldn't you do anything to get back to your son? And he says, I did, and more. And you can see how much that like haunts him. Like, not that he wouldn't do it, but that I think the and more is the part that gets him.
I think he knew that what it required him to do was not something, he had to do things that he wasn't maybe okay with, but the end had to justify the means here.
Yeah.
It just was what it was. Which is a thing I've always said about Rumple, is that like I always thought he wasn't an indiscriminate killer for the most part.
No.
But he was willing to kill if it meant I accomplished my task.
Yeah. But I think that he's trying to share that sometimes like you think that it's for this, but it's like it is corrupting you as a person.
I think it's more. So we talked about this when he meets Neil in Manhattan.
Uh-huh.
And I remember jokingly laughing, well, not jokingly, but like, you gave him a loss because that conversation wasn't what he had dreamed of after 100 years. I think he's kind of warning Victoria that, like, you have been so singularly focused on the day that you reunite with your daughter. If you have done all of these other things in service of that, it is not unrealistic that this reunion doesn't go the way you think it does because you're not the person that she wants you to be. Which was really what Neil's issue was. Is that like, great, you reunited, but you also abandoned me. You turned into a monster. You were the dark one. You were awful. You screwed everyone. I don't love you anymore. Like, that is really, I think, what he was saying to her, is that like, the cost may not be worth it. Even though also I would do anything to bring my son back. Which is like, I think the part that's nice about both of those, it's complicated, but like, what's the correct answer? You can't just say, don't wake your kid up. Not the one especially that loves you, but also, geesh.
Well, and we also don't, I'm hopeful that we will get more of Ivy's perspective on this.
Yeah, we need a lot more with Ivy.
The killing of Cecilia happens sort of off screen.
Well, they say she's not dead. She specifically says, no, she didn't die.
Didn't she put the poison in the
Correct,
drink?
and she went to Wonderland, and Marcus chased after her. But she said no, she's not dead. They make a point.
She poisoned her heart. That's what happened.
Yeah,
it was the heart. Okay, I got it. So either way, fine.
Yeah, she made it so they couldn't be together.
I like to Ivy that's her mother.
But that isn't her mother.
I know, but
to Ella, that's fair.
It's the mother that she grew up with.
Sure, I get it.
And not only is she like, she's just in I don't know how you forgive Victoria for that. I don't know how you do that.
If I were Ella, 100%, I hear you. I would never forgive her for that because that was my mother and you took her away from me. This becomes weird when you're talking about Ivy.
I just think that there's, I don't know, I think that you're putting too much stock in being told that someone is your mother versus what you feel because of your experience.
I'm putting stock into what is real as opposed to what you feel. Like, the reality is, that is your mother.
But I understand that, but, like, you've been raised by a person.
I'm not saying you shouldn't have feelings for Cecilia. That is totally reasonable, just the way we've talked about, like, Regina and Henry, right? Like, Henry will always love Regina, and that is the woman that raised him. That is the person that's there for him. But once he realized Emma was his mother, he instinctively had love for her.
Yes.
Like, that doesn't just erase because she wasn't there. So, yeah, I hear what you're saying, that, like, she should still have feelings for her mother, but it wasn't like, had Emma killed Regina, he wasn't going to be like, I hate you, Emma, I'm never forgiving you.
Yeah.
It's still his mom. Whether or not, like, we talk about this all the time, the ties that bind are the ties that bind. Like, the only way that's not true is when you get a Peter Pan Rumple situation. You were never my father, you were never there for me, you abandoned me and never looked back. Mm-hmm. Even Neil, despite his hatred of Rumple, would eventually go, yeah, but I still love you. Like, it just, that's the thing that's odd to me, is that what caused Ivy to basically treat her the way that Rumple treats Peter Pan?
Yeah, I wish we had more information about how old they were.
They look to me...
Well, it doesn't help that, like, they use the same actress for Anastasia, but I guess she's supposed to be...
frozen.
Yeah.
That does make sense. Literally frozen.
And, like, the girl that they use for Ella looks old. Like, she's, like, a teenager.
Also, can we talk about young Ivy being Asian?
Yeah, I don't...
Like, okay, Marcus is Hispanic of some nature, Latin, whatever you call it. The little girl looks Asian.
Yeah, she...
Ivy doesn't look Asian at all.
What
the fuck were we doing here?
I don't know.
I'm, like, so confused.
I mean, I also really don't think that Rapunzel and Victoria look alike at all.
They look nothing alike. In fact, I remember saying, look at this, like, very fair-skinned, blonde woman with, like, blue eyes, it looks like. And then Victoria is, like, not that. She looks more like Regina than she does...
My first thought when Anastasia wakes up is, like, how the fuck does she know that that's her mother? Like, how does she know that?
That's a good point. I mean, I will say... Because Anastasia loved her mom, you could dye my mom's hair any color and put contacts. I know my mom when I see my mom.
But also, like, Anastasia doesn't know what happened.
Oh, explaining what happened?
Like, she's just like, not only does this person not look like my mom, but also my mom should... Yeah, that also.
Like, there's a lot of... Why am I in a room with beeping noises? Last time I checked, we were out in the forest.
What's electricity?
What's a city? Like, yeah. I mean, this was a completely different realm. But if we skip all of that, like, that... I think what I liked about this is that, like, there was... You know, this show usually very black and white, good versus evil. We spent the first 20 minutes arguing whether or not she's right or not, and there's a valid point in both cases. Like, it wasn't an inherently... very much what I liked about Rumple. He can do evil things, he can do good things. It's very unclear oftentimes where he lands, whereas, like, Snow and Charming are always on the side of good. Cruella's always on the side of evil. We love all three of those characters, but they're black and white characters. Like, they're very to do what they do, other than the weird kidnapping, for example. Or when they're cursed and they do weird shit.
I don't know. I think I'm just having, like, it's Victoria's job to love and take care of Drizella, no matter how she treats her.
I don't disagree with you.
Especially because she's a fucking child.
Yeah.
Like, I understand that Ivy is an adult. I get that.
Yeah.
Ivy has clearly made some choices in the intervening years.
Let me ask you this question. Do you think Cruella's mother has a responsibility to love her?
I think she has a responsibility to take care of her. And she...
Does she?
No. Well, she does not take care of others by protecting them from Cruella.
But, I mean, would you say she has a more responsibility to love Cruella? To want to take care of her? And
I would actually argue that she does love her, and that's why Cruella isn't in the place that she needs to be in.
I agree with you. I'm not saying what she does. I'm asking, do you think she's morally obligated to do so? Because Cruella is unquestionably evil.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know.
And there's no second daughter here.
No, yeah, there's no...
If you put a second daughter next to Cruella, don't you think you're going to naturally gravitate to the one who isn't Cruella?
Yeah.
I mean, right, it's just human nature. I mean, Corella's a monster.
Yeah.
Ivy might be a monster.
It's true.
Like, the thing that I think we're not getting is that I don't understand Ivy's motivations for any of this. Why did you side with Gothel? Why do you hate Victoria, or why do you hate Rapunzel so much? Why are you desperate for her approval? Why are you doing weird curses, but then putting yourself in a position to continue to be bullied by Mommy Dearest? Why do you hate Jacinda? Like, none of this makes sense from Ivy's perspective. In fact, if you take her out, the pieces fit strange enough more, other than the I don't understand Rapunzel's hatred of Ella, but, like, it's Ivy who doesn't make any sense anymore. Her rage just seems to be completely unfounded.
Yeah. Well, and especially, so I feel like what we're tiptoeing around is what we've, like, is evil born or made? And
I mean, I asked this question last time, and I said, well, with Corella, it was proven it was born.
But is Ivy evil, and was it born or made?
I have to admit, Victoria's statement about she hasn't been my daughter since she was 4 years old, probably born. Like, I mean, because we've also talked about Corella, an exception to a rule. Peter Pan was also born evil.
Yeah. So that's a really interesting thought, because Victoria's original plan was Ivy is pure of heart, and I will use that pureness to wake up Anastasia.
Yeah.
So she clearly doesn't think that she is evil.
That's true. Though Rumpel's heart got purified, even though he was not pure of heart.
Well, there was a lot of magical mumbo jumbo that made that occur.
Yeah, I would say just be careful using pure of heart, right? Because we've talked about, like, Emma was somehow pure of heart at one point, even though Emma had to do a lot of things that were most certainly not pure of heart.
Yeah.
Charmings were allegedly pure of heart, and then all of a sudden they're kidnapping babies. Hades was able to experience true love despite being a demonic underworld god. Like, I don't know that unfortunately means what we think it means. Like, pure of heart may not be you're actually a good person.
That could be true. It could just mean you're a blank slate.
Could be.
Which is interesting with this concept of the Guardian that keeps coming up that everyone is looking for. Everyone wants the Guardian.
So that was another thing. The fact that Gothel is also looking for the Guardian is interesting because it puts her in direct conflict with Rumpel, which goes, oh, that's interesting now.
Yeah. I had, like, completely forgotten that, and I was initially really annoyed when they, like, kicked off the Gothel Rapunzel, like, Gothel traps her in the tower. I was like, wait, what the fuck? What is Gothel's motivation even here? Like, what is happening? She doesn't have one, no. But she does. She does have one. And now I'm intrigued. So good job.
Also, what's interesting, if you look at when Rumpel grabs Victoria's arms, he knows the story.
Yeah.
So they know, like, I've been saying this, like, there's more crossover here than it makes sense, because for Rumpel to know what happened to Rumpel and Rapunzel, or Rapunzel and Gothel, means that these characters have interacted across realms. Yeah,
there was also something that annoyed me, and maybe you're right, like they've known each other for longer. Gothel says to Rumpel, I never thought I'd see a pout on the Dark One or love in his heart. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, she's only ever known Rumpel with love in his heart. Like, what is she talking about?
Maybe not.
Like, maybe they've known each other for longer, but how? He's never been here before.
Where?
The realm that doesn't have a name, Roger.
It's most certainly possible. Well, Rumpel travels realms.
Now? He couldn't before?
He couldn't get to one realm.
But we've never, I don't know. I mean,
we've never seen Gothel in the past.
Yeah.
But we have seen Rumpel at a point in time in which he didn't have love in his heart. And he was traveling. He was essentially, it actually makes a ton of sense when you think about Rumpel was looking for a way to get to Neil by any means necessary. He would have traveled to any realm necessary, interacted with every single character possible. You don't think Mother Gothel might have been someone he touched base with to see if she had a way to get him there?
Okay.
So I could definitely see that, they crossed paths in the past.
I feel like they have to give us a flashback that is further back. They have to do that. And they have yet to do it. The only flashbacks we get are flashbacks to this other realm in, like, the time period from when Henry goes there. And I need a flashback from before that.
I don't disagree with you, but I understand why they're avoiding that, because if you're trying to forge a new identity, going back into the time that we already know and love becomes more about Rumpel and Regina than it does. Or you have to randomly put these new characters in a spot that we're already familiar with.
Yeah, but I don't need them to do it with everybody. But, like, Rumpel and Regina are here. Like, we can do it with Rumpel and Regina.
That's true, but, like, now Gothel has to pop up in the past.
Sure.
Which, again, I understand maybe why they narratively stayed away from that. Okay. We kind of bounced all over the place in like the opening discussion. I'm going to just start with my first liked. I like that Victoria clocks Rumpel is awake.
Oh, for sure.
I do appreciate a villain not being stupid and being like, and I don't even know how, like, Victoria's part villain, part victim. She's kind of Rumpel-ish in that she's in the middle. Because she hates Gothel, and rightfully so. Gothel is an evil, twisted woman, but also is willing to manipulate Lucy, and she's obviously not good. But I do like that she smartly goes like, Rumpelstiltskin, we both know you're awake. Like, Regina, strangely enough, isn't able to clock this in a way that Victoria is.
Well, and it's interesting that Victoria is the first person that Rumpel actually reveals that he is awake to. I mean, she has information that he wants.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I don't think there was anything that Regina could give him at that point in time in which he felt it was necessary to wake up for. Maybe this is... Victoria is... I mean, she does accomplish her lifelong goal in this episode. Yeah. But largely, we've been describing her as sort of an ineffectual villain, especially because she's not even the villain that she thinks that she is. But I don't understand how she has this information and Rumpel didn't know that already. Here's another thing. Right? So Victoria, we've assumed, thought she cast the curse, right? If she cast the curse, that would mean that she would know that Rumpel would be angry at her.
Yeah.
But there's no hostility between them. She doesn't even consider that Rumpel is mad at her, which means, at some level, she knows she did not cast this curse.
Yeah, that's I don't know.
Like, they basically, I don't think they were intending, but, like, there's no way in hell, if you took Rumpel off his path, you know he'd be pissed at you.
Although it does sort of align with, especially what we see of Rapunzel in this episode, that she wouldn't care. She's like, whatever, fine, I didn't cast this curse, I don't care. That, like, my goal is to wake up Anastasia. Like, that's fine. If I can do that, who cares?
Oh, I agree with you. I think it's just the fact that, like, we assumed that all of her actions were before from the position of, I did this. I think she never thought she did this.
Yeah.
I think she has always thought she was sent in the curse.
Okay.
Because she's too quick to, like, most of the time when people screw over Rumpel, the first thing they do is apologize and then say, like, but the reason you don't want to kill me is because of X. Mm-hmm. She's not terrified of him at all. And also, the fact that she's not scared of Rumpel at all means she didn't do anything to him. At least in my opinion. Also, we talked about this, but, like, the moment where she's getting advice from Rumpel is a classic Rumpel-Regina moment.
Oh, for sure.
It reminds me of, like, let go of your... Come right after Snow kills Cora, or Snow uses Regina to kill Cora, and he's like, let it go. It never really got you anywhere. It's kind of the same thing which you were talking about. Like, you do have a daughter out there. Like, I hear that you're mad at her, but, like, I would never give up. And he's legit confused in a way that I don't know that I've ever seen him stumped like that.
It does add, like, a really interesting level of complexity to their relationship. Because, like, obviously Regina and Rumpel have so much history, but they don't have a shared history about looking for the same thing.
Yeah, whereas Victoria and her...
Yeah.
Yeah. Question. Did you think they had energy here?
No. No energy. I mean, energy. Like, they have there's a chemistry there, but I did not find it romantic or sexual.
I didn't either, but it's not telling. It's just funny to me that, like, I always looked at this the same way I looked at Regina and Rumpel. Like, the exact same feelings for me. And so I'm amused that you didn't see it that way this time, but I know you've seen energy in the past with the other two.
Yeah. No, I did not feel that. I think that he is... I would say beyond confused. I think he's, like, mildly offended about the way that she treats him.
I do think he's I think he's kind of disgusted.
Yeah.
And I think part of it is that, like, I think he sees a little bit of the weak Rumpel in her being like, you can't just give up like that. And I think he always looked at himself as a coward. And I think he's thinking that she's being a coward.
Yeah.
Like, or, like, maybe coward is not the right word, but, like, you just cannot abandon your kid like that. And that's the one thing he doesn't respect.
I also think that there is no more energy for Rumpel in anyone.
Nope!
Like, his entire mission in his life now is to reunite with his dead wife. Like, he doesn't have energy with anybody.
Honest, I never really bought he had energy for anyone other than Bay and Belle. Rumpel just always felt very, like, we talk about, like...
Cora?
I'm talking about post, like, since... Yes, he absolutely had energy for Cora. Cora, Bay, Belle. That's really it. Like, honestly, I would argue he never really had energy for Mila. Like, they were happy at one point, but the moment that she...
I don't.
Well, I mean, he did love her. Like, I wouldn't argue that he didn't love her. But the moment she leaves with Hook, he never wants her back. He's not, like, pining for her. He doesn't have, like, I want you to come back to me. Really, he just wants her to take care of the son.
Yeah.
Like, but I think at that point, he was done with her. And pretty much post that, it's really Belle and Bellfire.
Henry.
He loves Henry, but it's different with Henry. Like, it's paternalistic and, like, I'm very proud of you, I will protect you, but it's not the same energy that he had with, like, Neil, and I need to, like, he doesn't mind that Henry doesn't really care for him.
Yeah, but I think that he would protect him.
100%, we see that.
Well,
but he was bothered when Neil didn't, like, he wanted to be redeemed in Neil's eyes.
I mean, he is also wrecked about Lucy, especially because he feels like it's partially his fault.
Because he thinks it's his fault.
But he's really upset.
Because that's his great-granddaughter.
Yeah.
And, yeah, he is... I mean, this is the part that I do think is different about Rumple now than maybe Rumple in the past. Like, he is bothered by this in a way that he might have been able to put to the side. And I can also... It's also his son's granddaughter. Like,
yeah.
He would just naturally not be okay with this. And I also think at some level... I don't think he hates Victoria... And I think he is a little concerned with, like, you go down this path, you might do something you're going to regret.
Well, and I think that he recognizes that, like, her life was fucked. Like, she was fucked.
The other thing this made me think of, if you think about, and you kind of pointed this out when it happened, when we go down to the underworld and we get to see Mila for, I think, the final time, he has to kill her, because that's part of the deal. But I thought he took more pleasure in that initially, and then we watched it, he says, I did not enjoy that.
Yeah.
And I wonder if he's remembering that, like, you know, when we talk about the and more. I had to do some things that I didn't particularly care about. I did have to kill my son's mother, and I'm wondering if he's like, you're going to go down a path and do something that you may not be able to forgive yourself for.
Yeah.
You may have to do it, but, like, I don't think you want to. Which is what I'm kind of guessing Victoria, because that's her granddaughter, right? And it is actually her granddaughter.
It is not.
No, it's her step-granddaughter.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't know.
It is also... Ella was old. Like, she was, like, 14, 15. I'm not saying that Victoria should be evil to her by any means, but, like, Victoria, they were not... They also weren't... I don't know how long it, like, did not appear to be that long, because the kids are played by the same actresses. Yeah. Like, she gets back together with Marcus, like, could be maybe a year or two, maybe.
If that.
Like, yeah. But obviously Jacinta continued to live with her, or whatever.
There's another thing. So, we find out that Lady Tremaine killed or had Marcus killed in, like, the first or second episode. Mm-hmm. Ella says, you had my father killed. I didn't even realize that her father was Marcus until I saw that. She loved him. Yeah. What the hell could he have possibly done that she would have killed him for?
He chose the wrong daughter while swimming around in dark ice.
But she gets back together with him after. Oh, you mean after that she has him killed. Maybe. That just seems...
It's unhinged.
Yeah.
Which, like, I can understand how you would unhinge after what happened to you. Yeah, no. Like, I get it.
6 years trapped in a tower, come back and you're replaced.
Yeah.
And also, Ivy must not know what Gothel did. Because there's no way you're working with that person. At least not without a plan to screw them over in the end.
How would you describe what Gothel did?
To Rapunzel?
Mm-hmm.
I would say Rapunzel was... I think she took advantage of a desperate soul and forced her to abandon her family.
Uh-huh.
So I get that she was doing a test, but I would say she essentially caused Rapunzel to abandon her family, which is probably one of the few things that they say this show is unforgivable. It's why Rumple never forgives himself for what happened with him in the Bay.
I wish that scene had been a little longer, because I wonder... It seemed like Gothel would have let her take the food. I mean, I don't know, because we, like, apparently ultimately Gothel's goal is to find...
I don't think she would have. I think it was very clear that Gothel had a goal, and she's going to see if you're the one.
But I also don't know... Because, like, to Gothel, I think she needed someone to agree to, like, sacrifice themselves for their family. Mm-hmm. And if Rapunzel wasn't willing to do that, but just wanted the food, that doesn't meet Gothel's goal, so I think she would have just let her go.
Sure, but Rapunzel would have to know that. And the fact that, like, she was willing to steal just...
I mean, I guess you, like, are agreeing to a hypothetical, but it seems sort of unhinged to me to, like, meet a creepy stranger that, like, appears in a garden, and then they're like, would you give up everything for your family? And then you're like, yeah, definitely.
I mean, I've watched Rumpel have this same conversation at least 100 times in this show. It's not that...
but people know who Rumpelstiltskin is often when they are speaking to him.
Sure, but they don't always know what they're agreeing to.
That's true.
Like, Ashley did not know that she was agreeing to give up her baby when she made the deal when he's her fairy godmother.
That's true.
I mean, a desperate soul is a thing that Rumpel always has taken advantage of.
That's not how she gives up her baby.
Well, it's not, but that ends up being like the contract they end up signing later, or like there's some favor that he needs, and then he decides the favor is the baby, and then Emma, blah blah blah. Because really, he needed Emma, the plot. But I mean, Rumpel did this many times. It's been one of my criticisms that like, so Gothel's female Rumpel now. I'm just going to take advantage of desperate souls to find all right, I've kind of already seen this, and then Hades goes down this path too. Like he does the same thing with the desperate souls.
She is sufficiently creepy. Gothel is creepy.
Yeah.
Like, whenever she's having a conversation with someone, I'm like, I'm creeped out by you.
She's creepy, but she's not scary. Like, she was more scary caged up. Like, Cora was creepy scary to me. Mm-hmm. Because you kind of knew deep down Cora will make your knees crack and your back break. Like, there was a terrifying viciousness that Cora had that I don't think Gothel really portrays.
Yeah.
And, like, Rumpel also had a even if it was a put-on, he was terrifying. Like, he just looked a little bit more scary. Gothel just kind of seems like more of the Hansel and Gretel woman.
Yeah. Like, she's I get that.
Yeah, a little creepy.
Can we talk about okay, we haven't really talked about Jacinda and Nick.
That wasn't by accident.
Speaking of no energy, my God, there's no energy at all.
Well, is there no energy, or is Jacinda just a bad actress?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I will say I find both of their acting bad, but I do think that Lucy and Jacinda have chemistry in some, like, they're, you feel that they are related and that they're genuinely happy to see each other, etc. There is, like, nothing with Nick, and I'm like, I don't know. I was struggling to understand what was actually happening in that scene, because I was like, is he misreading signals that I'm not seeing at all because there's no chemistry? Like, what's happening? What's going on here? You just think that they're both bad and that's why?
I think this is hilarious to hear you complain about Jacinda the way I felt about Emma for the first 6 seasons. And I'm just like, yeah, it's really awful to try to judge things when the actress is just fucking terrible.
Yeah.
And I don't disagree with anything that you said, but I'm like, I'm going to use the classic Chelsea line. Jacinda has walls.
I don't know that Jacinda does have walls.
I think Jacinda has walls. I can't tell because her acting is terrible. But do you see how ridiculous that sounds? The other thing, and I know I've made this comparison a lot, but there's a scene where Victoria is basically saying, I'm giving you custody, and it was a test, which is kind of a funny callback to the Gothel testing Rapunzel. When she says that, Jacinda's face does nothing. She does her stupid little help tip. And then Tiana has just like a perfect, like, the fuck? And I'm like, the contrast between, like, we talked about this with Regina, where, like, Regina can say a lot without saying anything. Her facial expressions, the smile when Greg gets what he's coming to him. And I'm like, that's a main character, that's a bad character. And I'm like, when you see it right there, you're just like, the problem is literally that, like, it feels like one of you doesn't know how to act. Like, the appropriate response was Tiana there. I don't know. The fuck are you talking about right now? I don't know. Jacinda didn't give me anything in that scene. It was just meh. And even when she's talking about, like, it's complicated with Henry thing, it just feels flat. Like, everything just feels meh.
Yeah. Although I guess now I'm wondering that we're thinking about this. Did Victoria pay Nick to do that?
In the first place, or now?
Now. Because, like, what are the odds that Nick tries to kiss Jacinda in front of this camera?
Honestly, if you know Jacinda and you know the bad choices she makes, it's not that surprising that you put a camera in there, she's gonna fuck it up.
But it was a fucking hideous doll that Lucy is, like, clearly too old to play with.
That's true.
Like, why was it in the living room? Like,
right in a spot.
Yeah.
It definitely, I hear you, and, like, I wouldn't say it's out of the question, because that's definitely a Victoria move, though when would she have arranged this? Before she went to jail?
Before the whole thing.
Oh.
Before all the way back.
I won't dismiss it out of hand, but I also don't know that, like, Jacinda just does dumb shit.
Yeah.
And they have a history.
Yeah.
Like, I could kind of tell you, be like, sooner or later, you put them in a room together, sooner or later some sparks are going to fly.
I don't know. Well, maybe that's why it felt like there was no sparks, because there weren't. He was just doing what Victoria paid.
Well, even if he's doing that, then it should have been, then that's even an indictment on how bad Nick is. Like when, who was the woman that we see in season 2 who was going to marry Neil? Black woman.
Yeah. I keep wanting to call her Sasha because that is what her name is in The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Tamara.
Tamara and Neil had energy.
Yes, they did.
Like, they had some real chemistry, and it felt like she was really into him, and then the deception hurt. If Nick is just deceiving her, I'm like, well, that was obvious. You didn't really look like you were that into her.
Well, maybe he realized he didn't need to try that hard because she's dumb. And he's rich. Apparently.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can we talk about Rogers and Weaver?
My note was, I don't care if it's Hook or Rumple or Rogers or Weaver. Whenever those two are in conflict, I'm here for it. But I love the way it ended.
It was
like actually better.
That scene was electric.
Yeah.
Chemistry, man. Yeah.
Actual true, like, because I feel like over the first 6 seasons, you put Hook and Rumple in that situation, some bad shit's going to go down. It's going to be some threats. It's going to be some chest puffing. You're going to really have those two like, I'm coming after you. And I think maybe for the first time that I can recall, Rumple goes, all right, I need your help. Like, that is not the way we've ever really seen Rumple act.
Well, and how vulnerable he is. Like, because usually, like, what we hear Weaver say all the time, even if he says, like, you're going to help me, he's just like, I'm not going to tell you what's going on.
I'm not asking either. I'm more or less telling you you're going to help me. In this case, he's like, I need your help.
And then he makes, like, a vulnerable confession about being separated from his wife. And you can, like, see on Roger's face the way that he's just like, I believe you.
Even though it's the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
Just believe you.
I believe you.
Yeah.
Which is funny to think that, like, Rumple jokingly calls him his oldest friend when he's about to kill him.
Yeah.
But he might actually be his oldest friend because who else knows him?
Yeah.
Like, everyone around him who's, the problem with being immortal is everyone you've ever loved is dead.
Yep.
Other than the other immortal guy who you... And, like, it's funny, you think about, like, if you've been having think of Batman and the Joker. They've been fighting each other for 100 years. Who probably knows Batman better than Joker, other than, like, an Alfred? Because you two have spent an obscene amount of time with each other. Like, it's twisted and it's dark, but also you kind of get it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's something. I think the fact that Rogers... Also, I did love the scene when he picks up the hook.
Oh, yeah.
That was fun. You just, like... Also, I mentioned this, like, his other hand is working. Mm-hmm. So they cursed Captain Hook to have a second working hand.
But it doesn't work all the way.
He's able to use it.
We've talked about this before. Yeah. Like, he definitely has an injury. He always wears a glove.
Yeah, he has some sort of disfigurement for sure. But he's able to use it in a way that doesn't look like it's a claw either.
Yeah, so it's not just like a piece of wood.
No, like, this is a hand. Like, this is a thing that he can utilize. And I thought that was really good. I'm also just very interested in, like, okay, so he's going to let Rogers in. When is he going to wake Hook up?
Mm-hmm. And can he do that?
Well, he's trying to wake Tiana up.
Yeah, which is interesting. I want to know why.
Yeah, the fact that... And he also put the dagger out at risk.
Yeah.
So he's trying... And he's like, Jen, do you feel anything? He's like, so there's something...
And she has, like, a connection to the dagger? I need to know what this is about now.
Many, many questions. But the fact that he did that was like, oh, that is unlike Rumple. And that's almost like a sign of desperation that we don't get from Rumple often. Mm-hmm. So there is a level of desperation. Like, this doesn't feel like the classic Rumple is always in charge. Now, I will say when we got Rumple versus Gothel having that little conversation, I was like, if that isn't the most classic villain of the season, shows up to confront Rumple, and the two of them have to puff their chest out to see which one's really in charge, and we all know in the end Rumple's going to be here and you're going to be dead. It was just kind of funny, like, that's classic Once Upon a Time right there.
It is. I only have lines and questions now.
Well, I got some dislikes. So, I'm supposed to believe Drizella basically just lost all connection to her mother from 4 because Gothel kidnapped her. And that led to her resenting not Gothel, the woman who kidnapped her, but just her mother.
Yeah, I think that 4 is younger than you think it is.
Even if it is, why don't you hate Gothel?
I don't know.
That say what you want about her and Victoria's relationship. Gothel, you should hate.
Yeah, I don't know why they're working together. I actually don't know what they're doing in this episode together in the present day. What are they doing?
They're trying to wake Anastasia because she wants her magic.
I don't understand how they could be so ineffectual.
Well, like you said, Ivy isn't...
But Gothel...
I think Gothel is playing Ivy, and Gothel doesn't really give a shit about Ivy's goals.
Well, I think Gothel clearly is looking for the Guardian.
Yeah, but Gothel...
And she already thought that Anastasia was the Guardian, because she wanted to...
She did. I think she just wanted to get to Rumple. I think that's why she says, go away now. She just wanted that conversation with Rumple. She didn't give a damn about what Ivy wants. So yeah, that whole thing is dumb. And then, okay, so Rapunzel, I actually understand why you don't like Ivy. I understand why you don't like Gothel. Why do you now hate Ella?
It's a good question.
That to me is the way more confusing. Like you basically had a lifetime of resentment towards Ella for no reason.
Yeah.
That's weird. Yeah, I already talked about Gothel being female Rumple. Meh, I don't need that. Okay, so this whole thing starts because some dumbass children stood on a frozen lake. What the fuck are we doing?
Because some dumbass adults let some dumbass children...
Agreed! What are we doing here? Here's a thought. You don't need to be on a lake to make a snowman. Just step back off the lake.
Yeah, actually, it's not like they were ice skating or something.
If they were ice skating and playing, that makes sense. They were making a snowman. Just do it on the snow.
Well, and I mean, I guess... I was listening to something and someone said this. They don't know that they're in a fairy tale TV show where people die all the time. They don't know that.
Agreed.
And if you live in Canada, you can walk on your frozen lake in the winter. You can 100% do that. It is cold enough. Okay. And I don't know I don't know anything about where they live.
I never grew up in that type of place, but I assume I had to learn, hey, if you got into the ocean, be careful. Because you can drown.
Never turn your back on the ocean.
Never turn your back. There are just certain... So I'm assuming if you grew up in frozen ponds, frozen lakes, Ohio, Michigan, there are certain rules that you follow. And you probably don't let your young daughters go out unattended.
Yeah. Also, they're not that... Ella, specifically, not that young. Neither is Anastasia. Mm-mm. They're, at least 14.
Yeah. They're young teenagers, I would say. They're not Alice age, but they're old enough to... They should know better.
Yeah.
And then Lucy retorts to Victoria, "You're not my family." You may think that, but that is technically your stepmother, and this goes against the theory of the show. Also, you know the story of Henry and Regina. So you're telling me that because she's your stepmother, that doesn't count? Well, then what about Regina being Henry's adopted mother? Are you saying that doesn't count? That doesn't even make sense. This entire thing is about found family.
Doesn't make sense at all.
You can't just claim they're not family because you're mad at them. That's not how that works. Which is kind of your point with Ivy and Victoria. Your family, whether you like each other or not.
I did love when Lucy was like, "So you're Lady Tremaine and Rapunzel?"
And I expect when Gothel was like, "She has many names."
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my last diff. I got a lot of questions. Not so many lines, but I got a lot of questions.
I have 3 questions.
Okay, I'll go first. Why does Gothel need the Guardian?
Yeah. I don't...
And I'm glad they didn't tell us now.
That was a question that I have to... what? I don't know. I don't get it.
Because I'm wondering, is her magic a curse?
I don't know. She seems to like her magic.
Rumple seems to like his magic.
But I don't... Not in the way that Rumple likes his magic, or past Rumple has been, obsessed with power. She is like Mother Nature. She feels connected to her magic.
That's fair. But maybe there's maybe there is a price to pay with her magic that she's trying to get rid of. Maybe. The same way that he never liked the dagger's tether. Even if he liked the magic, he hated the dagger's tether. I'll go again since I stole one of yours. So, am I supposed to be angry at Victoria? Am I supposed to be happy for Victoria? Should I feel sorry for Victoria? I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about Victoria, which maybe is a good thing.
Yeah, I think that it might... I think that usually, even if we don't feel this way, the show is trying to make us feel a certain way, and I'm not sure that they're trying to make us feel a certain way right now.
Yeah, I think we're supposed to be unsure of how to feel about Victoria, which I think is a good thing.
I think it's genuinely complicated.
Yeah. Like, there's, we've argued this even in the other show. Like, there's nuance to this situation in a way that I don't think applies in, like, you feel sorry for Rumple when Neil is mad at him, but you also get why Neil hates him.
Yeah.
Like, it made sense where, like, there's some rage. This one, I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
All three emotions feel valid.
Well, and I think that it like, actually, if you draw on, especially what Rumple was trying to say about, like, and then some, like...
And more, yeah.
There's... you make choices, and sometimes you have bad choices and you have to make a choice between two bad things, but every choice that you make builds on itself, and this is where you are. And even if we feel bad for what happened to Rapunzel, like, Victoria's made some choices.
Yeah. Well, even Lady Tremaine made some horrible choices.
Yeah.
Like, we see some vile shit that she does, so you're like, I get it, but what the hell's wrong? Kind of like Cora.
Yeah.
I get it, but what the hell's wrong with you?
I mean, this is kind of a dumb question and not a real question, but at the beginning when Ivy comes in to threaten Victoria and she's like, you don't have a lawyer. And I'm like, what do you mean? Why doesn't Victoria have a lawyer? You just get a lawyer. That's what happens.
Well...
Does she mean that you don't have a good lawyer?
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. Not to disparage public defendants, but someone who is wealthy and powerful, having a public defendant who's overburdened, barely able to put any time for it, is not a lawyer.
But I'm also not sure that's how it works. Like, you go to prison and you no longer have control of any of your assets. Like, your daughter just instantly has control of all of them. I, like, don't know if that's how it works.
I mean, A, that could be built into the curse.
Sure.
B, it depends, because depending on the charge, you can lose control of your assets. Like, you might have people loyal to you still, but most of the time you can't run your enterprise while you're in jail because you could still do some bad shit. Like, if Victoria is able to use all of her assets and bribe people or blackmail or intimidate witnesses, you kind of don't want that.
Okay, fair enough. We already talked about this, but, like, what is Sabine's relationship to the dagger?
Yeah, that's... also, I know you're going to talk about that. It's one of your favorite moments. Thing we didn't talk about, but is shocking. How did Victoria get the storybook?
This is not one of my favorite moments.
No. I skipped the one I was going to ask because I know it's going to be one. But, like,
yeah, I don't know.
Because
yeah,
we talk about the storybook, and it has been said, it comes to you in your greatest time of need. That is her greatest time of need, but how the hell did she get it?
Well, and the only time we've ever seen this version of this storybook is when Henry gives it to Lucy when they're being chased before the curse comes.
Yeah, or in the previous seasons.
Yes, but this is a different book.
It is a different book, but it's the same exact binding as the author's book.
But, like, this is, I don't know. Like, Lucy was the last person that had it.
Yep. But why did she have it? I mean, so it's like, there are questions.
Yeah.
You have no more questions?
No.
So Hook's secondary hand works. Why would you curse him to have working hands? That's just weird.
It is weird. It is a weird choice.
And then last one. So does Gisela really have no knowledge of what happened with Gothel and her mother?
Yeah, that's a good question. Because we don't ever actually see them interact.
No.
And I mean, I have to, like, obviously Rapunzel came back and said I was trapped in a tower, but, like, maybe she didn't share in detail about who did that.
I would imagine for Ivy to search out Gothel, Ivy would have found the woman that trapped her.
Yeah, the next episode is about Ivy and Gothel.
Yeah, so that is... Unless Ivy really is more crafty than we thought, I am still surprised that you don't detest that woman.
Me?
No, like, that Ivy doesn't detest Gothel.
Yeah.
Okay, that is my last question. I
have 2 favorite moments. I don't know if they can be counted as moments. One of them is a moment, and one of them is...
lines?
Oh, yes, I do. Sorry.
Like, we can go, but I have some lines.
I have 4.
I have 3. Though I guess I do have 4. I take it back.
I thought this was an interesting way to put this for Gothel specifically, and, like, I'm glad that she actually has some motivation.
Yeah.
It's rare to find a flower that can grow amongst the weeds of human nature.
Yeah, which is interesting because that seems to imply that she thinks very highly of Rapunzel.
Yes. She found her
pure heart, whatever you want to call it. And then she's disappointed that she fails the test later.
Yeah.
Victoria, God, much like my clothing, my daughter, I'm stuck with what was thrust upon me.
Jesus Christ.
I have to admit, after this episode, I get it a little bit more. I do.
The delivery of this from Victoria to Ivy. Oh, did someone not get enough hugs?
Did somebody lose another son?
Which, like, also, Victoria, you were the one that was supposed to give her hugs.
Well, see, the problem with that, though, is that the reason she didn't give her the hugs is because of what Gothel did.
Yeah.
So, like, maybe she was, but then that's Gothel's fault. And also, that was my second line. Oh, did someone not get enough hugs? It just very much reminded me of the Evil Queen taunted Rumple. But, like, this one is even more like, God, you guys have a weird relationship, shall we say. It's complicated.
It is complicated. Jacinda, there's a
fugitive at the door for you! Again, the way that Jacinda, like, just everything about her, the way that Tiana says it, and you're just like, that feels like a main character. Like, she's just better. Like, she's just a better actress.
She has main character energy. She has big dick energy.
I don't think I've ever heard you use that phrase, but I agree. Maybe a female version of that. Nope.
Okay.
Nope. Go and do your last one.
Now I can't tell if you're a dirty cop or the best one I know. I cannot think of a better description of Rumple. Like, it's...
Well, yeah, you can. You're working diagonally.
Yes.
That is the description of Rumple. This one was classic Lucy saying some dumb shit that's supposed to sound precocious but sounds kind of, well, dumb. People get happy endings if they work at it. Oh, yeah? Let's call Regina and see if she got that happy ending, and she worked her ass off.
She did, so many times.
Rumple got a nice ending. I'm pretty sure his happy ending doesn't involve his son dying in the middle of season 3. They both put in work. Doesn't mean you always get the happy ending. Oh, and Robin. Did Robin get the happy ending when he got obliterated? You stupid fucking kid.
Wow. All right.
She irritates me, honestly.
2 favorite moments.
3 favorite moments. Let me guess. Sabine's name of a truck.
It's the best name of a food truck I've ever seen in my whole life.
So that is the one I was going to ask the question about, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to leave that because I know it's in your favorite moments. It's so like, good. Rolling by you is hilarious.
It's like 2 puns, or is it 3?
Rolling because it's a food truck.
Yeah.
Bayou because it's southern. Rolling Bayou because it's on wheels. It's 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
great.
It's the best name.
It's great.
Also, I didn't think of this until like we were watching it. It's also Cinderella and Tiana's colors, yellow and blue, which I think is nice.
Also, God, I feel like Henry and Sabine having a team up where they work in the truck would be so much better than any of this Henry just send a dumb shit.
So much better.
So much better. Well, honestly, and he fixed the truck. Like, I think of that scene where he turns the lights on and her face just lights up, and I'm like, they had actually more energy, the 2 of them, than I've ever seen from Henry and Jacinda, strangely enough.
Yeah.
And there is no real energy between the 2 of them. I loved the Rumple and Rapunzel discussion.
My second favorite moment, it just says Rumple in all capital letters, and then both his conversations with Rogers and with Victoria, like all of it.
Totally fair. My other
A++
is Rumple asking Hook for help and basically being vulnerable.
Yes.
That is such an evolution of who Rumple is. Because, I mean, you would say, like, why does he just ask them for help? And I was like, well, they don't fucking care about him. But, like, he takes a chance here that, by all accounts, probably shouldn't have worked. Like, if Hook were awake, I don't know if he'd helped him. But Rogers, at his core, seems to be a decent guy, and he's different than Hook. Mm-hmm. So, Nook is a friend.
Nook is a friend.
Yeah. I have one more.
Okay.
I did like the moment Victoria woke her daughter up. And I'm going to say I had to cut what my actual favorite part of that was. It's the fact that Lucy went into a coma.
That's... Oh, wow. Wait, that's why? Or you just liked that Victoria...
Anastasia went up, Lucy went down.
Okay, cool.
That may make me a bad person. I acknowledge this on recording. But boy, that was nice to be like, I'm not going to have to hear her talk for a while.
Yeah. I think that's valid.
I feel like it is valid. It may not be okay. I have 3 ridiculous moments.
I have 2.
Ella's crime that Victoria, Rapunzel, Tremaine resents her for till the end of time is walking out onto the ice. That is the thing. This is more unhinged than you told a secret that got my true love killed. This is you just ended up walking out onto the ice and I hate you for it.
And
that Marcus saved you instead of Anastasia.
And so much so that Jacinda has internalized this and thinks that it's her fault.
Yeah, she says, I did this.
Yeah.
Like, this is insane.
I 100% agree with that. Okay, I know kids in fairy tales fucked up parenting situations. These kids are really going through it. Ella's father dies. Then Drizella and Anastasia's mom disappears. Then Ella's mom is murdered by Rapunzel.
Ella's mom isn't murdered.
She's gone.
Sure.
Then their parents get back together, and then Anastasia, like, basically dies.
Yep.
Like, these girls...
Going through some shit.
It's fucked.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. My last ridiculous moment is Ivy's behavior in general makes no sense to me. I just don't get... I don't get Ivy of the past. I don't get Ivy of the current. I don't understand how Ivy both... Because the whole thing with Ivy was, I desperately want Mother's approval. I desperately want to be like you. But the past shows that you can't stand this woman. So when did that change from, I don't have a connection to you, I don't like you, I don't respect you, but at some point during her teenage years, she decided that the most important thing in her life was getting her approval? You didn't even want her love when she came back.
Mm-hmm.
The fuck? And your bizarre alliance with the woman who caused all of these problems for you. Nothing about Ivy makes sense right now to me. I'm just perplexed.
I agree with that. All right. I have 3 losers.
Same?
The first one is Lucy.
Listen. That girl lost her hope, belief.
Well, and like, I don't... Okay. She got confirmation of her belief in the whole situation.
You were right, is what she said.
But losing her belief was losing the thought that her parents would be together because her mom kissed some dude that Lucy knows is not actually her father.
Yep. Remember, this is the daughter of the heart of the truest belief.
Yep. They also kissed for like...
They weren't kissing.
It was like 2 seconds. They were not making out. He kissed her for like 2 seconds.
In the video.
Oh.
They're not just...
They just keep making out after that?
The video was going on for a bit.
Maybe Victoria looped it.
Maybe.
I don't know.
On that perfectly high definition camera.
The best nanny cam I've ever seen in my life.
Ever.
I almost didn't put this one, but it Gothel?
Absolutely Gothel. She got trapped.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going on with Gothel in the now part.
Sure,
she has a plan. It seems to be working. Probably. I don't know. I don't know anything about that
I
yet.
agree with that.
But yeah, she got trapped in a tower.
Yeah, she got pickpocketed by a girl that she imprisoned.
Well, and also, she was trying to find the Guardian and failed at that.
100% Gothel. And then the other loser is the one who makes no sense.
Ivy?
Yeah.
I didn't put Ivy because I feel like nothing in this episode is from Ivy's perspective. Like, we don't know anything about what Ivy is doing. But I think everything that you said is fair.
The final scene is from Ivy's perspective.
That's true. I actually had a question about that and I didn't ask it for some reason. How did you interpret the way that Ivy looked when she woke up? When Anastasia woke up? Because I felt like she...
Oh, that was actually the question I skipped accidentally. Is Ivy angry or sad that Anastasia...
I don't know. Or like she seems to like genuinely care about her sister, sort of. I don't know. Like, it was...
It's not phrased that way,
It was really hard to read her expression. I like didn't... But the way she touches the glass, like, she like wants to be in that room, but does she want to be in that room because she wants to be chosen by her mother?
Want the magic?
Or I don't know. Like, I'm not sure.
See, this is the part that doesn't make sense to me because it seems like she's experiencing like a deep pain about seeing Victoria accomplish her goal for her family, which she doesn't obviously feel Ivy is.
Yeah.
And she's like hurt by that, but then we also see a side of her that seems to just want the magic from Anastasia.
Yeah. So I don't know what's going on there. I think it's fair to put it. I just don't know.
That's totally fair. That was my clear third loser. Who do you have if not that?
I put Rapunzel. Specifically Rapunzel, which I know is not how we keep track of
Sometimes we split
things in the tracker.
But even with the win over Gothel in the end?
The win over Gothel.
She trapped Gothel.
Yes, because that...
Talk to me.
No, okay, yeah. Trapping Gothel, good.
Okay? Trapping Gothel, good. We're good here.
I think that, like, being tempted by...
So you think there's like a morality loss?
Yes.
Okay.
Because especially because she initially tries to deny it, like, because she throws the thing into the fire because she's like, she's an innocent, I can't harm her, and then she does it anyway. And the way when Marcus pulls Ella out of the water and she's just like, I don't give a shit about this child.
She specifically says, but you didn't grab our daughter.
Yeah, and it's just like, bitch, I don't know what you think swimming around in a frozen lake is like. Like, I don't know what you thought he was gonna do. Also, you could go in there too. Because, like, he goes back in, apparently. Like, she could have done that.
Like, if my dog goes into a lake, both me and my wife are diving in.
Of course.
We're taking as many chances as we can to get her.
We're, like, at a minimum, there's also, like, they could have tried to go get, like, a log so that they could not...
maybe I can deep swim, but I need you at the edge, so when I come up and I'm carrying a fucking body, that someone is there to take the bodies.
Well, because that's usually the biggest problem with falling through a lake, because it just keeps crumbling and you can't get out.
And you're freezing quickly.
Anyway, I don't... Huge moral failing. I think that...
I don't disagree with
and
that.
I know we don't agree on this, but I recognize...
You're really annoyed that she gave up on Ivy, right?
Yes, she's a child. Like, you are her mother. Like, Jesus.
I understand your point. I do. I don't agree with it, but I understand it.
All right. I have one winner and one question?
I have 3 winners.
Okay.
If you don't have Anastasia, I don't understand.
Oh, yeah, that's 100%.
Not being dead.
I didn't think about her at all, but that's
totally fair.
Really fair.
And she only wins at the very end.
Yeah.
But that's a win.
Yep.
So.
And apparently she's maybe the guardian? Whatever that means.
Which, boy, that's going to put some interesting conflict.
Mm-hmm.
Kat?
Victoria.
I just have Rapunzel as winner. I didn't count her as a winner.
I mean, I think that's...
She does some bad... So I think morally there's some failings.
But she got exactly what she wanted.
Effectiveness to the... 100% effective.
And then I have Rumple.
Yeah, I had Rumple as a question, but I think it's too early to count him a win in this episode.
I agree. I mean, I think him being vulnerable with Weaver is like a huge win. But he's wrecked about Lucy, and I just can't...
I think you and I say win differently. I think it was a great moment. I don't know that he gained anything in the moment that says you won the episode, but I think it was, like, awesome to see, if that makes sense.
I mean, I think he gained a
friend. He did, yeah. But that hasn't paid off yet.
No, that's true. That's fair.
It
Fine.
will pay off in the future, I would argue.
Well...
I have one more.
Oh.
This is going to sound real bad. Us.
We won? Because we liked this episode?
Because Lucy is in a coma. And I don't have to hear her anymore. Because her acting is fucking terrible.
Is that everyone? Everyone is a category we've used.
The Watchers. No, because everyone is talking about everyone in the show.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about all of the viewers, as in...
Roger.
Like, Roger and Chelsea win not having to deal with Lucy anymore. Which I know I shouldn't be this happy for a child falling into a coma. But I just need you to understand that it's like, imagine if young Snow was never coming back.
Yeah, no, I feel it. I feel it.
You get it at your core, right?
I get it.
That's my last winner, though.
All right. Well, the next episode is called The Eighth Witch. So we're going to get a bunch of witches.
Okay.
Sounds exciting.
Okay. Are there normally 7 witches in a thing, and this is, like, unusual? Because I feel like things are always 7s.
7 is a magical number.
Yep.
But,
and the fact that they call it the 8th witch implies that this is abnormal.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious. We had so many questions, so...
really, 7 has really done a pretty good job of being better than I remember.
Yeah, I agree with that. Well, please be sure to join us next time when we watch Season 7, Episode 10, The Eighth Witch.
We'll see you next time.